All right, let's talk about desperation. Uh, excuse the coarse analogy. When an animal is cornered, sometimes it will lash out in violence. Desperation can also make people do stupid things. And sometimes they are dangerous things. And sometimes they are things that make absolutely no sense. And right now, the Trump administration is very desperate because almost everything they're doing is failing. We looked at a poll earlier this week showing Trump's approval at 30%. That is not like, hey, you're at 88 and you've got a little room for improvement. That is like disaster, political emergency. The economy's not delivering. Trump said he was the peace president. He started a war. The promises won't materialize. Foreign policy, gas prices down. I mean, just every single promise is going haywire. He overpromised and he underdelivered. And so we get to a point where the political isn't working. I mean, listen, there's also growing signs of Trump's cognitive struggles, his physical struggles. It's all going terribly. So what do you do when the public stops buying what you're selling? They believe the answers are more ICE arrests and more babies. I will explain. If something's not working, do even more of it. Come on, guys. Here is Tom Homan, Trump's border czar, saying, get ready. We're going to do a lot more ICE arrests because people love that stuff, huh? It went really well. Here's Tom Homan.
We got a lot of work to do. So with additional resources, additional money from the big, beautiful bill and the reconciliation package, you're going to see a lot more arrest activity go on throughout the country.
So the video briefly freezes there, but we got the audio. Notice what is missing here. And I'm going to give you more examples. We're building our case. There is no like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get wages up. We're going to get energy costs down and grocery down. We'll make healthcare affordable and accessible and none of that. What they are doing, instead of dealing with what affects the daily lives of most Americans, they're going, don't worry, ICE, which is insanely unpopular, is going to start arresting even more people. What a strategic pivot, huh? They are turning to an unpopular policy as approval collapses. And I believe that the problem is that the administration seems to think that immigration is their silver bullet issue. And there's reason that they would think that. In their defense, during the campaign, it did seem as though their promises around immigration were highly motivating to voters. And it turned out that they lied about what they were going to do. We're going to go after only criminal illegals, as they like to call them, and they didn't do that. And we saw killings by ICE, and it's gone terribly. And so they're kind of going like, okay, foreign policy's failing. We're underwater, 27% approval on the economy. Gas is up, groceries are up, everything's up. How about we do what people elected us to do? One of the things, which is the deportations. But they are now in a position of governing. And people vote on immigration, but they also vote on whether they can afford groceries and whether their rent went up. And the implementation of the immigration scheme has not been popular. Americans haven't liked what they've been seeing. So there's like a muscle memory that the White House is reverting to. They've been playing this one for a while. Fear and raids and arrests. And when you don't have anything else to say, hey, we did it, I'm hanging my hat on this other thing, you go to spectacle. And then like almost right on cue, in misguided priorities and lack of likability, JD's idea is babies, lots of babies. His wife is pregnant and he goes, I'd have 9 if I could.
And now I'm just all like, I would have 9 kids, but as you know, it takes 2 to tango.
Mammalian reproduction depends on yes, we understand that part, JD. But what is so insensitive about this whole, like, gotta have more kids thing, another thing that they're pushing, is what about the cost? There are a lot of Americans who don't want kids. Cool. A lot of Americans would like to have kids, but it's not that they're anti-family or anti-natalists or whatever. They can't afford it. Childcare costs a fortune. Housing costs a fortune. Health insurance costs a fortune. Raising a kid costs a fortune. If you want a higher birth rate, which Elon Musk and Trump and Vance, they've all talked about, some for religious reasons, some for sort of technocratic reasons. If you want a higher birth rate, The most important thing is make life more affordable. So even these distractions about ICE or chilled babies, they still go back to the failed economic promises. If you want people to have more kids, do something about paid leave, about the cost of childcare, about the cost of healthcare, about economic security. But we get lectures about we got to populate the earth and save civilization. And Elon Musk has at this point 10, 12, or 14 kids. I don't know. It's this cultural messaging, ignoring the fact that there are no material solutions. And I think that's the big story. It's an administration that relies on symbolic politics because the tangible results are tougher to deliver on. We can just start having ICE arrest more people. We can do culture war crap. We can talk about the importance of having babies and all of that. If the voters are unhappy, you've got to solve the problems that they're facing, or you try to distract from the problems. The White House is choosing to distract, and the question is, how will that work out for them in November? Appreciate you watching. Stick around for this next video, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you actually see our uploads. You can also catch the full podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.